We
is.
got it. Bam.
There
We're
it
gonna
is.
build the plane while we flying it, bro.
Yes,
So what's
sir.
up,
Yes,
Rob,
sir.
man? Thanks for coming on, my guy. Thanks for
Man,
coming on, bro.
man, I appreciate you having me, man. I really do, man. Man, just to start off real quick, man,
Uh-huh.
Perry, I want to tell you, man, I've been watching you for about the past 2 years, man. I want to tell you, man, you're really doing some phenomenal things out here in the pressure washing industry as far as the equipment, showing people how the processes are supposed to be implemented, man, and just, giving up game, man. And I truly admire that. And that's one of the reasons why when you told me you were starting a podcast, I wanted to make sure that I got on here, man, just to be able to share some of my insight, my stories, and how much I admire and look up to you.
Thank you, bro. I really appreciate that, man. A little echo going on here. Let me fix that. Hold on one second. Hold on. Is that better? Better.
Yeah,
Echo.
you good. You
How
good.
about now? Good.
Yeah, you
All right,
good.
cool.
You
Man, I
good.
really appreciate that, bro. Um, I do I do what I do out of love, man.
Right.
It's in me. And it's only right for me to continue to put it back out because it's
Hmm.
in me. Um,
Right.
I've been wanting to do this podcast thing for about 5 years now,
Hmm.
and it's finally coming to the place where it's time to go. You know,
Right.
we can say we're gonna start tomorrow, we're gonna start the next day, and whatever. But the thing is to start.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
it.
so I appreciate that, bro. It means a lot, man. It means a lot. Wow. So so tell everybody where you from, man. Where you wash at? Where you doing your thing at?
So I'm from Houston, Texas,
Uh,
man. And man, I'm going to be honest with you. I've only been in the pressure washing industry since 2019.
okay.
2019 is when I kicked off in the pressure washing industry. Um, Man, it goes a little deeper than that. So in 2019, I got released from incarceration.
Okay.
So when I got released from incarceration, man, I kind of had my back against the wall. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Me being 40 years old, well, at that time, I was probably about 44 years old. So I'm, man, just trying to figure out how I'm gonna make ends meet, how I'm gonna be able to provide for myself. And then during that time, the pandemic hit.
Hmm.
So the pandemic, it started happening probably around November, December, but then it went full stream around March 2020, April
Wow.
2020. So when it went full stream, then that's when they shut everything down in Houston.
Okay.
And when they shut everything down in Houston, I'm still unemployed. I'm trying to figure out a way on what I'm going to do with my life. And I stumbled across a YouTube video where a guy was saying, I can't even remember who he was, but he was bragging about how he made $400 in an hour. And when I saw
Okay.
that, I was like, man, wait a minute, $400 in an hour. So pressure washing. So I did a little bit more research into it.
Hmm.
And I was like, man, I mentioned it to one of the females that I was talking to at the time. And I was like, man, what do you think about pressure washing? And she was like, man, my dad's friend does that, man, and he makes good money doing it.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, for real? So um, did a little bit more research. And then I said, man, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, just jump out on faith and see what happens. So we went to Home Depot and we got a pressure washer, man. And I show that video, on the growth that I've had since I started.
Respect.
And and I went to Home Depot and I got a Ryobi 3500 psi. Man, I thought I was doing the thing. It was
Hmm.
probably maybe 1.4 gallons per minute. So I went out and I did my mom's driveway first. And man, let me tell you, I felt like I had tendonitis when I was done. So, man, I said, oh man, this is hard work. And I spent
Uh-huh.
all day out there doing it. But then I saw they sold the surface cleaner. So I went and
Right.
got a little 12-inch surface cleaner. So I'm out there surface cleaning the driveway, going back and forth, scrubbing it. And I was like, man, it's got to be an easier way. It's got to be an easier
Got to
way.
be.
So then I started doing some more in-depth searching on just the pressure washing industry. I started looking at some commercial videos on YouTube, and then I seen guys were out there really, 8 gallon a minute, 4 gallons a minute, and they were like, "Man, look, start if you're going to start in the industry, get you a 4 gallon a minute, get you an X Jet, things of that sort." So off of the work that I was doing, man, I'm talking about I was Tom and Jerry, man. I was beating up the pavements like Fred Flintstone, man, knocking on doors and offering my services for practically pennies on the dollar. But
Wow.
I wanted to be able to find success in what I was passionate about at doing at that time. And lo and behold, man, started getting neighbors and family friends and stuff like that to support me in my endeavors, and in the process of that I started buying bigger equipment, and as I started buying bigger equipment I started getting bigger jobs, and I started learning how to do the jobs more efficiently. And then from there, um I went and I did, and this is what was really the turning point for me. I went and did a job for a customer who happened to be the director of the University of Houston. And when I did
Go
his
Cougs.
driveway,
Go Cougs.
when I
Go
did
ahead.
his driveway, he said, "Hey, do you do commercial?"
Mhm.
And man, listen, let me tell you, at that time, I hadn't done a commercial job before in my life, but I was like, "Yeah, I do commercial." And he was like, "Okay, so I got a parking garage, man. I want you to give me a quote on."
Mhm.
Well, I went and I did that parking garage for him. It probably took me about a good 5 days with a 4 gallon a minute pressure washer,
Sounds
but
about right.
I got it done. Me and one other guy, man, we got it done.
Uh-huh.
And then I was able to see a large profit from that. And then because of me being in trouble, I had a lady from the Texas Workforce Rehabilitation and
Mhm.
Vocational Department call me and say,
Okay.
"Hey, have you? We got your paperwork here on file, man. Are you interested in starting a business?" And I was like, "Man, yeah, I'm interested in starting a business." So she was like, "Well, what kind of business are you interested in starting?" Well, I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of dibbling and dabbling in pressure washing right now, but I want to figure out ways to try to grow my business."
Mhm.
So she was like, "Okay, well, I'm about to quit." I can't even remember her name, but she said, "I'm about to quit. I'm fixing to move on to another position. I'm going to pass your name to a business plan advisor that's going to be able to help you out and get you a business plan to where we can present it to the state of Texas. And that way, if you have a comprehensive business plan, you can get to a max of $15,000." So I was like, "Are you serious?" And she was like, "Yeah." She was
Mhm.
like, "Man," so she sent me out some paperwork. I filled out the form. And then after I filled out the form, the next day the lady calls me and she says, "Hey, my name is XYZ." She was like, "I was referred to you by," and I can't remember her name, but I'm just speaking. This is how God works.
Works.
He,
Yeah.
he, he positions people in your life to help
That's
you
right.
get to where you're going.
That's right, bro.
Um, so my business plan advisor called me and she said, "Hey, I got your name from blah 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 blah." She said you were interested in starting a business. Do you know what type of business you want to start? So I was like, "Well, I'm dibbling and dabbling in pressure washing." So she was
Mhm.
asking me all kind of questions about pressure washing, and I had no idea. I didn't know anything about competitive advantage. I didn't know anything about my target audience. I didn't know anything about just running a business. I wasn't even
Right.
an LLC at that time. So
You know how to get to the money though.
yeah, I
You
knew
know
how to
how to
get
get
to
to
the
the
money.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew how to
Definitely.
get to the money.
Mhm.
So she man, she helped me develop a business plan, a comprehensive business plan. We submitted it to the state of Texas. It took them a while before they got back with me, but
Mhm.
because of COVID and all of the other things that were taking place at that time, uh, they allotted me $18,000. They gave me
Wow.
three more $1,000 than
Man.
what they originally give because of the delay from COVID and all of that other kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So in between all of that, I'm still out there grinding. I'm working. I'm learning, how
Mm-hmm.
to, market myself. I'm doing social media posts. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing all the things that I can do within my own capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Took that money, invested all of that money before then, had my little 5x8 trailer, my two 4 gallon a minute pressure washers, my surface cleaner, my water tank, and
How
then
many pressure washers you say?
I had two. I had two four
Yes,
gallon a
sir.
minute pressure washers.
Yes, sir.
So, man, I had invested in all of that on my
Mm-hmm.
own. So when the money came in, um, that's when I was able to get my 8 gallon a minute hot water. I was also able to
Nice.
get my 8 gallon a minute cold water. I was able to get my AR-45.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting some of the bells and whistles with the remotes and the downstreams and
Yes.
all of that other kind of stuff, which really just catapulted me into the next arena. So,
Man, because you can handle it
yeah,
efficiently now.
yes,
It just
yes.
opens up your mind, man. I got you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and me working with those 4 gallon a minutes and me working with those 12 volts. And man, let me tell you, man, I ran through some 12 volts. Man, oh my gosh, I ran through 12 volts.
The pumps.
Man, those pumps, man, just trying to clean homes and trying to clean them efficiently.
Yeah.
But so I'd have like two 12 volts on the truck, man,
And ready
just
to go.
ready to go just in case. I mean, having a redundancy plan, man, is what really is going to help you to, really get ahead
That's
in the
right.
pressure washing industry because you
Mm-hmm.
never know when things are going to fail.
That's right.
So as long as you've got your redundancy, you can go ahead, boom, one thing fails. Okay, let me switch over to the next, switch over to the
Finish
next,
the
get the
job.
job done.
Finish the job. I don't want to have to come
Yes.
back here.
No,
Put yourself in position. Keep going. Go ahead, bro.
exactly.
Yep. Go ahead,
So,
Rob.
long story short, man,
Mm-hmm.
in the process of me doing all of that, I had always had a passion for going back and helping my brothers out there were incarcerated, man,
Mm-hmm.
because a
Salute.
lot of people didn't know that states offer these type of incentives for people who have been incarcerated before, even though yeah, you've got the stigma placed on your back because of the mistake that you made, but they also have programs to help you to be able to get ahead in life. But the one thing is that most people don't understand is that you have to change your mindset. You have to change your mindset. You have to, in order for you to be able to make the type of money that you want to make, be able to provide for your family, and be able to do things with your family that's entertaining, that's memorable. You're going to
At
have
your
to,
leisure
and
and
look,
nobody else's. Go ahead.
you're going to have to change your mindset from an employee to an employer.
Employer. That's
You're
right.
going to have to change your mindset
Because
because when you change your mindset, especially when you have an X on your back, then it opens up the doors. Let me tell you this, Perry, and I'm going to share this with you.
go ahead.
I was going out and this is before I started my pressure washing business. Before I was a Microsoft certified system administrator, and I
Mm-hmm.
was also a certified Cisco network associate.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I'm a veteran too. So I was configuring switches, routers, ASAs, doing structured cabling, all of the other
Okay.
kind of stuff.
I'm
Once
familiar.
I'm
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
once I made the mistake and got myself to where I had gotten incarcerated, I was coming home and I was getting these jobs, and I was selling myself on the interviews. They were hiring me on the spot. They were running my background and they were rescinding on the job offer. The same people that were rescinding on the job offer and not hiring me to make 20, 25, $35 an hour, those are the same people that come and have me to clean their homes or their buildings. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to get people to open up their eyes to realize that, man, you have to change your mindset. You
Yeah.
can't allow for society to keep you stagnant and stuck in a rut and
Mm.
not being able to move forward with your life. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's up to you. You have to make the decision, you have to put in the effort, and you have to be consistent. I'm going to share this quote too. If you're persistent, you'll get it. If you're consistent, you'll keep it.
I like it.
That's
That's a
what I.
fact.
That's a
Those are
fact.
those are those are words that I lived by and continue to live by. I told someone the other day the same thing that you do to get it, you
Mm-hmm.
got to do it twice as hard to keep it,
Yep.
and it doesn't stop. Man, your your background doesn't look like you.
I
You follow what I'm
appreciate
saying?
that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank
So
you.
that's the telltale sign that you when you go out here, you gotta sell yourself.
Yeah,
People buy from you. They
exactly.
buy from the individual. There's thousands of power washers,
Mm-hmm.
but what makes you different?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna win every time.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're gonna win
Yep.
every time just based on that very, limited amount of information you just gave, but it was so powerful, bro, that
Mm-hmm.
you sold yourself. It had nothing
Mm-hmm.
to do with what happened yesterday.
Exactly.
You can stay there mentally or could have stood there mentally, stood in that
Mm-hmm.
space. But
Yep.
nah,
Mm-hmm.
man, that's phenomenal, brother.
Man, so one of the things that I do now today is I allow for my pain
Hmm.
to fulfill my purpose. I use my pain as my purpose,
You
and in the process of that, man, I'm going to share this with you, man. So Monday, I'm going to receive an award from the city of Houston, which is the Ernest B. McGowan's Champion of Diversity and Inclusion Award. Man,
wow.
let me tell you how. And this is for small businesses within Houston. So,
Wait, hold that thought.
uh
Hold on.
huh.
This is bloopers, bro. You part of the live show, so hold on. It
Hey,
ain't
let's
live,
do
but
it.
we're
Let's do
recording.
it.
So
Let's
hold
do
on
it.
1 second. I gotta
Let's
give you
do it.
this.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Respect, bro.
Appreciate it,
I had to
man.
give you that one.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, you'll make it happen. You'll make it
Let's go.
happen. So, so yeah, true enough. Monday I'll be receiving the Ernest B. McGowan Award, man, Champion of Diversity and Inclusion from the City of Houston's Office of Business Opportunity. Man,
Hmm.
I'm gonna just say this, man. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching me. I didn't apply for this.
Hmm.
I'm just me merely just going about my day, you know, targeting high-end customers, high-end residential clients,
Hmm.
um, going into these businesses that I see that's got decades of mold and algae on them.
Hmm.
And I'm asking who's an office manager, who's the building manager, who
Hmm.
do I need to talk to? I want to give you all a quote on cleaning the concrete, cleaning the loading dock, just hustling, man.
Yeah.
Just hustling, man. And I mean, the same energy that I was putting into doing all that negative, I channeled that energy into doing what's positive. And in the process of me doing that, people are recognizing and people
Mhm.
are noticing and people are giving me my acknowledgement and
That's right.
affirmations for doing what's right. And in the process of me doing what's right, I want to reach back out there and I want to help other brothers that are coming home that don't know what to do, that have been victim of the system
Hmm.
for years
Yeah.
and have lost all hope, have become discouraged
Hmm.
and just feeling defeated. I want to let them know that, hey, listen, man, that is just a chapter.
Wow.
That doesn't define your whole future. So right now, man up, make the decision. You know what I'm saying? To do an
Yeah.
about face and find something you're passionate about and put everything you got into it.
That's
And
right,
it's
brother.
got to be something that you're passionate about
Hmm.
because if you're passionate about it, you're willing to give it away for free because you love doing it. And if you love doing what you do and you're willing to give it away for free, then guess what that's going to do? It's going to bring you exponential growth.
Oh man. Tenfold.
Yes.
Tenfold.
Yes.
Give it away.
Yep.
That's part of why I started this podcast, brother. When
Mm-hmm.
I started in this business, I had to learn the long way. See, everybody, for the most part, and when I say everybody, I'm speaking specifically about power washers, but you can
Mm-hmm.
apply this information to anything.
Correct.
We all have the same goal when we go out, is to go out, make money, clean houses, satisfy the client, things of that nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's why is different.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we become the individuals.
Yeah.
Our whys are different. So your journey and my journey may have the same results, meaning the success of the power washing company, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But your why you did what you did is going to be
Mm-hmm.
completely different.
Correct.
So my thing is to bring, like you're saying, bring all of us together to create the space for people like you, like myself.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a story.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a reason for doing whatever it is that they're doing. I was telling somebody the other day that um, this is such an outlet for me doing this. It takes my mind off of all the other stuff that has gone on in my life, or, it could be now, it could be personal stuff that's going on, it could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a perfect show.
Right.
People like to be entertained, but they don't want to talk about what's really going on.
Exactly.
There's a reason why I'm passionate about what it is that I do. The stuff that has happened to me
Mm-hmm.
fuels me into
Yep.
doing this. It's
Exactly.
fuel. It
Yep.
gives me so much joy, man, to talk to complete strangers every day and just exchange energy, because you're
Mm-hmm.
literally attracting good people because you're a good person. So
Yep.
these things just start happening for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to explain, but you got to live in it to really understand or get privy, be privy of that kind of experience that you have with people.
Man, trust me. I definitely understand what you're saying, man. I've had so many people, I mean, just especially because of the people that have seen me re-enter back into society and that
Mhm,
have supported me along my journey.
mhm.
Man, I'm talking about, man, people recommend me to, I mean, clients that I never thought of, judges, celebrities, you know what I'm saying? To where like police officers inviting me out to different events and functions, and I'm with council members and
Yeah,
mayors and things
yeah.
of that sort. And I'm just like, at first it was kind of challenging for me because it was a new arena. I'm surrounding myself around a different group of people to where it was a little bit nervous for me in
Hmm.
the beginning, but
Foreign. It's
but
foreign to
yeah,
you.
but
Go ahead.
but but like I hear a bunch of successful people say is, if you want to be a millionaire or if you want to be successful in life, you got to surround yourself around those people that are doing the same things that you want to do.
That's a
It may
fact.
not be necessarily pressure washing, it
Hmm.
just may be business owners. And if you want to be a business owner, surround yourself around business owners.
That's right.
If you want to learn investments and stocks and bonds, surround yourself around people that are making investments or knowledgeable about investments in stocks and bonds. And
Hmm.
eventually, by you surrounding yourself around those people, you may not know nothing in the beginning, but the more that you continue to interact and engage with them people, the more you'll absorb and learn from them people that'll allow for you to become better at whatever you're pursuing, whatever goals you're pursuing at that time.
I completely agree with that, brother. So if you had to tell somebody, like, let me back up. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think we need to do collectively to promote that more?
So, man, Perry, I'm going to be honest with you, man. And since I've been in the pressure washing industry, I've seen a bunch of Facebook groups.
Hmm.
And, I kind of want to try to encourage and admire, inspire people and give them words of affirmation,
Hmm.
But when I get into these Facebook groups, man, and I see how people are bashing people, making fun of them and just, man, this person may just be starting and they really want to know how to do something, and they're like, man, how you getting these jobs and you don't know how to do this? Well, hey, listen, man, if the dude got the hustle to get the job, quit trying to bash him. You know what I'm saying? At least he's trying to do the research, or he's trying to reach out to people that have the experience that can help them. Why bash them, and why create a group to bash people? And I know there are some people that are in the groups that'll try to, give advice and stuff like that. But me personally, man, because I hate to see that negativity within the groups, to where I kind of try to, steer away from that, and just try to
Yeah.
post on my own platforms, and just do my own things. If y'all happen to see it, y'all happen to see it. And then another thing, I mean, I was listening to you earlier today when you did a live,
Hmm.
and I was trying to kind of feel what avenue you were kind of speaking on a little bit. You didn't really give it all up, but I
Right.
didn't know if you were talking about, people in the industry on pricing, or making the industry bad on the pricing. But then you did kind of say something about, hey, look, man, if it's putting food on your table and you're able to make your ends meet, then more power to you.
Hmm.
So I when you said that, it kind of made me think, well, maybe he may just be talking about, how to properly clean a home versus going out there and putting too much pressure on the stucco and chipping away the stucco, or going out there and using a zero tip on the hardy plank, you know what I'm saying, and putting lines all in these people homes because of that bad experience. So just
All
switching
of
it back
that.
over to you. Yeah.
All of that. Everything you
Okay.
said. It's one thing to do something. All right. I wanna be. I'm trying to be as generalized as possible. If you've been doing this 5 years and you got a
Hmm.
guy come along that's been doing it 2 years, and you see that what he's doing is going to cause a problem on the property,
Hmm.
and the response you get from you advising him
Okay.
of what you saw based on your experience,
Hmm.
they find it offensive, so they'll reply offensively, like
Okay.
and defensively. I'm sorry, they'll
Right.
reply defensively
Right.
versus saying, "Oh man, I didn't think about it that lightweight. That makes
Hmm.
sense."
Yeah.
Not, man, I've been doing it like this for 2 years, and this is how I'm
Hmm.
doing it, and whatever.
Yeah.
And for me, there's just a standard. I think there's a standard when it comes to the industry.
Hmm.
Instead of looking at it as I'm trying to bust your chops because I've been doing this longer than you, look at it as you're upholding a certain standard for the
Hmm.
industry. Because you got people who are out here just hustling. I mean, they're
Yeah.
riding around and with a pickup truck and a 4 or 5 gallon a minute. They go make $200 for the day. They go buy beer and cigarettes.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
care. But
Hmm.
when you're building a brand,
Hmm.
there's just a certain standard, and that's the
Hmm.
space that I want us to be in,
Correct.
because other cultures have those spaces. I
Right.
don't see us in those spaces. I see
Correct.
cultures getting together and starting mutual companies,
Hmm. Yep.
selling products, building
Hmm.
rigs, providing services, but
Hmm.
we can't get past a simple um, I'm just trying to help you, young
Yeah.
blood.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to help you.
And it's like that. So one of the things that I found that has been challenging for Exhilarate Pressure Washing
Mhm.
Services is me finding dependable workers.
Okay.
That's been one of the hardest challenges for me,
Mhm.
and determining the wages. Now, um, just because I'm charging XYZ to get this job doesn't mean that I should pay you half. This is not a
Brother, this an
homeboy type.
epidemic.
Yes.
That's an epidemic, man.
Yes, yes, yes. Doesn't mean I
Now,
should pay you
now
half.
let's go. Let's
So,
go.
so, so you have to understand, I am bringing you on to
Okay.
help assist me on this job. So that doesn't mean by you assisting me on this job that I'm supposed to pay you half, because I'm the one that's going out to get the lead. I'm the one that's negotiating the contract. I'm the one that has the insurance. I'm the one that's paying for the gas and the chemicals in order for this job to get completed. And if anything goes wrong with the job, I'm going to be the one that's going to have to take the full responsibility for whatever occurs on the property. So I need for you to understand that this is not no homeboy type of situation. This is a CEO, and this is an employee type of ordeal going on right here. And I need for you to respect that. Now, I've done this in the past. I've told somebody, hey, look, I'm going to give you one wage, and the gentleman comes out there, busts they butt, and I might charge $25 extra. Because they came out there and they, hey, look, man, they were respectable. They didn't come out and try. Now, this is one of my things right here. When I go into a house, man, it's probably going to take me maybe about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, just
Mhm.
depending on the type of the structure of the home.
Mhm.
Man, and then we're fixing to collect a bag. So while we're there, let's go ahead and do the job. We ain't taking no breaks. We ain't talking on no phones. We ain't smoking no cigarettes. We're not doing none of that. You only here for 2 hours. Let's go in here. Let's get this job done. Let's conduct ourselves like professional individuals while we're on this customer's property. If they come out, if they're concerned about anything, let's address it right then and there. Any conversation that needs to be spoken, you direct them to me. You don't try to interact as if you are the owner of the company. You say, well, hey, go speak to Mr. Green, or Robert's right around the corner. Don't try to answer any questions as if you know what's going on or anything like that. And another thing, don't take no pictures on my job site, unless they're approved by me. You know, don't. So it's about respect thing, man. But it's at the same time, man. I need for you to conduct yourself as a respectable man. And appreciate the fact that I'm allowing you to be a part of what I've got going on at the moment. And that's been hard for me to find. Um, Man, should I did a Costco project, and this is one of the things that I'm going to talk to you about, man. I
Okay.
did a Costco project, and while I was doing the Costco project, um, so the general contractor was like, "Hey, well, man, look, when we negotiated, and I came in as a sub, so." He said, man, when we negotiated the contract, they said they were going to have 2 trucks out here and blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Well, the contractor never discussed that with me.
Mhm.
So because they never discussed that with me, it kind of made me look bad out there on this job site because I only had one rig.
Mhm.
So I brought in another guy to come and help me on the job site. So I told him, I said, hey, look, man, I'm going to pay you 500. So he was
For the
like, okay,
job.
yeah. So he was like,
Just
okay,
one day.
cool. Yeah, just one day.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, cool. So then the GC came out there. And when the GC came out there, he overheard the GC talking to me about the 2 trucks, and he was kind of disappointed about it. But I'm like, man, hey, listen, man, I assure you that I can get the job done, blah, blah, blah. I've got two machines on my trailer. You know, this guy, he's got a machine on his trailer. We'd be in two different areas. Well, he heard me speaking with the GC about that.
Mhm.
The next day, he didn't show up. And then when I talked to him on the phone, he was like, hey, look, man, if you want me to come back out there, I want $1,200 a day, you know, or else, you know, you're going to end up losing that job. Glory be to God. God found favor in me and my situation and my hard work and my determination. We finished the job 4 days ahead of schedule. One truck, two machines, and two people. I went and hired somebody else,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, to help me do the job. But it's just the thing that, you know, $1,200, man, a day. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money. He almost asking for darn near half of what I bidded the contract for. And I just felt like, yeah, yeah. I just felt like, you know, hey, look, man, you know, so anyway, I just let him go. And man, I was pulling some 18 hours, you know what I'm saying, getting it done. But
Gladly.
at the end of the day, once I finished doing the original contract from the contractor that subbed me out, they hired me to do all of the post work, brought me on. So you see how God works, man.
Yeah.
You know, he'll sometimes, man, you got to go through the mud in order to get to the other side.
That's
And
right.
sometimes it's not always going to be an
Nope.
easy ride. Sometimes you're going to have to put in that extra effort when you really don't have to. I mean, when you really can't, you're going to have to,
That's
you
right.
know, and sometimes you're just going to have to make the sacrifices in the areas that you need to make the sacrifices in. Now I get to use Costco in my bio as, you know, a company that I've completed work for, and I'm able to utilize them as a reference, man, which really opens up the doors for me to, you know, obtain even bigger contracts, man.
Yeah.
So
The
I just
backlinks, see, we gonna get down. That's getting down to the nuts and bolts. But I'm gonna say the backlinks, as it relates to Costco and your business, is priceless even by itself.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yep,
Yeah, because that your site, I mean, your brand is associated with that brand now
mm-hmm,
forever. See,
yes,
people aren't
yes,
even they're not even on that kind of stuff.
they not.
But going back to this guy, that is a common thing.
Okay,
Uh, that's a
okay.
common thing. I've
Hmm.
experienced it. I've had two trucks, three trucks rolling at one time,
Uh-huh.
but they want to be you.
Yeah.
They want to come in, and in 3 months want to be you.
Yeah.
They want 30%
Mm-hmm.
of the company, like basically your earnings. Where they do that at? How about
Exactly.
we work, get this thing down, and I'll put you in the truck and let you run it, and then you can give me 30% off that truck.
Right.
Now we can
Right.
do that,
Right. Yep.
but right now you gotta work to get to that point.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing. They don't want to work to that get to that point. They just want it immediately off the jump. From
Right
no,
now, they want it now.
no,
Don't work
no.
like that, brother.
So
And then you now think about this. You're gonna pay them decent.
mm-hmm,
Then you're gonna all. I ain't even gonna go into all the other extra stuff, the ancillary stuff that you do for them.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Food.
Yep.
Oh man,
Yeah.
man,
Just
I can go down the list,
yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
But it's an epidemic, man, and that's the stuff that we don't talk about. There's no
Mm-hmm.
space for us to talk about this stuff. But I'm
Right.
sure it's probably a very good amount of guys like us that have gone through that, and you find yourself by yourself,
Yeah. And that's pretty much where I'm at today.
right? So am
Pretty
I.
much where I'm at today by myself.
Yeah.
So, and you know, to be honest with you, I can't even lie to you, man.
Mhm.
It seems like when I work by myself, I get the jobs done a lot quicker. I get them done quicker. I get them done better. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not having to worry about somebody, you know, not putting a tip on right and pulling on the trigger and busting out somebody's windows. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Rob,
having to worry about that. So
This is real life stuff.
yeah, it is. It is. Or somebody, man, man, listen, I had a guy come
Go.
work with me one time. I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry, man, but I had a guy come work with me one time, man, and we was doing the concrete cleaning. We was doing the house cleaning and the concrete cleaning. So I let him do the concrete, right? Because I figured, hey, listen, man, you got this under control. Well,
Pretty
the
simple. Go
concrete,
ahead.
the concrete was fresh. It wasn't fresh concrete, but the concrete it wasn't like really cured all the way.
Okay.
So he pressure washed the whole driveway and etched up the whole thing. So I happened to come from behind the house and I looked at the driveway. And when I looked at the driveway, man, I was just like floored because I'm like, man, are you not paying attention to what you're doing? You don't see these lines as you going up and down this driveway. So, needless to say, man, I had to talk to the customer, try to cool things over about the lines in their driveway. And then, over time, just the lines just eroded and went away. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, I didn't know what to do. And I was at the point to where I was fixing to have to file it on my insurance. But
Wow.
luckily enough, the customer
Sorry about that.
they was kind of a little floored about it, but they wasn't too upset. But at that point right there, I just felt like, man, listen, man, I'm just now trying to start my business and I'm already about to go under because of someone else's negligence to not paying attention to what's actually taking place and what's happening. You're just pushing a surface cleaner and just, just trying to look good while you're
I got
doing
you.
it.
I got
Yeah.
you. Do they?
Yeah.
I got one. I got one for you though, because we
Uh-huh.
gonna chop it up. When that happened, did you take any of the blame? Did you take any accountability for that? Being the owner,
Being the owner, I took all of the accountability for that
if
because
you had
I'm
to
the
do it,
owner.
okay. If you had to
Because
do it all over again, before you did that job, what would you do?
before I do a job now, I make sure that they know how to use the surface cleaner and what to look for. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So then
Yeah.
I took all accountability for
For
that
sure.
because now I got to make sure that I got to show people how to do something as little as push a surface cleaner over concrete, what to
Because
look
common
for.
sense ain't common, Rob.
It ain't common.
Common sense ain't common. So that
Yep.
was a lesson for
Mm-hmm.
me too.
Yes.
That was a lesson. We
Mm-hmm.
took a loss. It was a
Mm-hmm.
costly mistake.
Yes.
Costly. We learned. We paid for
Mm-hmm.
that. So we
Yeah.
got that information embedded. How many
Mm-hmm.
times has it happened since then?
It has not happened.
See,
It has not happened,
you learned
man.
something.
Even though the lines just disappeared over time. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
good.
saying? And I
Yeah,
didn't have to, file it on my insurance. It was an eye opener for me
yeah.
because now I need to make sure that if I've got anybody doing any type of work for Exhilarate Pressure Washing Services, they need to know what they're doing behind it before they pull a trigger or before they pull a surface cleaner or before they apply any chemicals to anybody's
Anything.
property.
That's right.
Especially if we want to make sure that they're doing test spots before we apply chemicals because we do not want anybody houses changing color.
That's right.
And
That's
it
right.
happens. It happens.
Yep. It
People
does.
are people are use indoor paint on the outside of their
Yeah.
homes, and before you know it, you
You paint
got
the house.
yeah, you paint the house.
You paint the house. Literally.
Yep.
Man, I've gotten to the point where I know for a fact that I could physically do all of this stuff on my own
Mm-hmm.
efficiently and effectively without destroying anything. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have any callbacks,
Mm-hmm.
plants dead, grass burned, car with
Mm-hmm.
chemicals all over it. I didn't
Yep.
have that problem until I started hiring people.
Yeah. Yep.
And I, man, I would train them and be on them so hard
Mm-hmm.
that it was sort of militant.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And to have to be that way bothered me because
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand why you not getting this.
Mm-hmm.
I've had one person that
Mm-hmm.
was cold.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Spanish guy.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came down to us,
Mm-hmm.
it was a hard task, man. It's like there's no respect because I look like you.
Right.
So
Yep.
you just doing it just to be doing it. It's like, are you not listening to what I'm saying? I just went over
Mm-hmm.
this with you, brother, 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And you're doing the
Yep.
polar opposite of what I asked you to do. Come on, man. We ain't cleaning that up there. We right here.
Exactly.
They
Yep.
not paying me for that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But it's
Exactly.
not their money.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
But it's
That's
so,
yeah.
hey,
Go
but
ahead.
no, but no, hey, listen, you're 100% correct
Mhm.
because you can hire somebody. This is a personal experience of my own.
Okay.
You can hire somebody to come out and just water the plants and they still die. Come
Yeah.
on, man. All I'm paying you to do is
Just
water.
water the
Just
plants.
water the plants.
Like
Man, and
Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. You had one job. Put
that's
the
it.
spoon in the bag. Why
That's
is this
it.
lady coming back here asking for a spoon?
Come on now.
Go ahead.
I'm doing a roof cleaning, and
Go
as
ahead.
I'm doing the roof cleaning, I'm already gauging, you know what I'm saying, my overspray. They didn't have any gutters on the home. So that's the reason why I had you on the ground just to make sure that any of the water, any of the overspray
Mhm.
that's coming down off of the roof, you're applying that water to that
Mhm.
specific area and not just lightly gently watering the plants, saturate them.
Saturate them.
Saturate
Easy
them.
job.
That's the easiest thing in the world to do. Why I get the customer calling me back the next day talking about they plants and died. So now I got to go out there and go to, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
purchase more plants and fertilizer for grass and
It'll never be the same, bro.
so
That
I mean,
that yard won't ever be the same.
yeah, yeah,
It's gonna take some years
for it to get right.
for it to get right. It's what
Yep.
I guess is a better way of saying it. Because it'll
Mm-hmm.
eventually, but we can't afford that. Because it's
Yeah,
your reputation on the line. It's your brand
exactly.
on the line. They don't see it that way.
No, they don't. And I mean, what's crazy is, I mean, they have a preconceived con-
Conceive.
conception
Conception. Go ahead.
conception
Mm-hmm.
of what pressure washing is.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're actually doing pressure washing according to the standards that are set, it's totally different from what you see on, you know what I'm saying,
It
on
is.
like some of these YouTube videos where a
Yep.
dude is out there doing like this with a wand and all that
Oh
other kind of
man,
stuff.
blasting away.
Yeah, and no, it's
It's
man, it's
finesse.
yeah, it's
It's finesse, bro. I'm like,
because
we finesse every property.
yeah,
I don't care
mm-hmm,
how large it is. I don't care how small it is. I'm
mm-hmm,
finessing everything. I've
yes,
been soft washing before soft washing became soft washing. Seriously. But I know people,
yeah,
oh man, they wide open.
yeah, wide open.
Wide
Man,
open.
listen, man, come on, man. You don't have to apply that much pressure. You know what I'm saying? When you're
Mm-hmm.
clean, really to tell you the truth, if you so what is your main go-to when you're cleaning a home? Are you using, I don't know if you have an AR or if you're using downstream or if you're using a 12 volt. What's your main go-to when you're cleaning a home?
98.9% of my house washes are downstream.
Okay, that's mine are too. Mine are too,
Yep.
unless it's stucco.
Yep.
And when it's stucco, then I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna pull out my AR-45, and that's so I can put a higher concentration of bleach onto the property.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can come through and I could spray almost one whole side and a half of a house, depending
Mm-hmm.
on how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
Spray that whole side, drop my AR-45 down there, but I'm gonna spray that whole side and I'm gonna
Right.
make sure I'm getting it clean. and then I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back, and some majority of the time, I'm gonna pull me 2 hoses out.
Right.
So I know I can do it with 1 hose, but then there's gonna be some areas where I may have to have a little bit more pressure
Mm-hmm.
than with it, because I'm gonna get volume out of that AR.
You are.
But in that pressure washer, I may need to have just a little bit of pressure just to get that tough area, what I'm saying, clean to where everything is spotless.
Yeah.
Or I may need to go up and
Up.
get to that peak, what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
You
with
gotta
a
hit
with a
it.
with a shooter tip,
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying, in
That's
order to
right.
be able to knock down that spider web up there, that mud dauber, you
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull out my 2 hoses majority of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If I And then another thing too is I like to do it a little old school too, man. I like to grab me some straight high bleach, man, some 10% or some 12.5 and a pump up sprayer. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Spot. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and walk around and hit them real hard,
That's
heavy spots first before I even
what's
start
wrong with that.
cranking up any system. Nothing.
Because
Because
you may not necessarily need. Well, we talking specifically about a stucco house, right? Because you may not necessarily need the AR if you can just take your spray, some hot mix, and hit them dead spots, and then come downstream. Boom, you don't really need it.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I call it, man. You got to come and survey the land first.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Survey the land. Okay, how we going to attack this thing? Oh man, hey, you know what?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
tell you what. Let
yeah.
me add 4 more. Let me add 3 more gallons to my mix. It's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
little hotter. I can still downstream versus pulling
Mm-hmm.
out my AR.
Yep.
I just
Yep.
bump up the mix.
Mm-hmm.
You follow
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and the good surfactant,
That's the key.
the good
That's the
surfactant,
key.
it's gonna sit there. While
It's
that's
going.
sitting there, especially if it's not a hot, very hot day, I
Mm-hmm.
can flow. I'm gonna let that sit there. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna bang these steps out. I'm gonna bang this
Yep.
out, whatever. Boom, and I'm gonna double
Mm-hmm.
back.
Yep.
And while I'm doing those steps, see, you got
Mm-hmm.
me in the groove now.
Yeah.
While we're
Yeah.
doing those steps,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure that don't dry.
Come on now. Come
At
on
the
now.
same time, like brother, windows is dry.
Mm-hmm.
You spray soap over there 5
Yeah.
minutes ago. It's not 85 degrees out here.
You should be rinsing them windows.
Come on, man. See
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But
And
yeah,
then
go ahead. Go
then the
ahead.
window, man, now you got me now. Now the windows got film all over. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so man, listen, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's a pleasure meeting you. You know what I'm
Respect.
saying? Having a face-to-face interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I definitely want to soak up some game from you, man. Your marketing,
Likewise.
your marketing is
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. One of the things that once you go back in and you do your editing and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
man, one of the things that I want to encourage, uh, I don't know how to say this, but I mean, let me just say
Just
it
say
like
it.
this. Let
Yeah.
me say it like this, man. Those that are really truly passionate about
Mm-hmm.
pressure washing, and for those that want to start this business and take this business to the next level, man, get you some certifications.
Yes,
Get you
sir.
some city certifications.
Yeah.
Get you. I'm minority owned business. I'm Hub certified.
Mm-hmm.
I'm SAM.gov registered. I'm a veteran owned
Well,
business,
you want it. You want
man.
it, Rob.
So
Tell it.
hey,
Speak it.
man, I just like I say, man, I've been in the business 5 years, and in
Mm-hmm.
these 5 years, man, I pretty much bootstrapped
Yes, sir.
myself from the
Wow.
ground up, man.
Wow.
I didn't have any loans. I didn't have anybody to invest in me.
Right.
I didn't have good credit to,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, jump out and, none of that stuff, man. I didn't have anything. But,
Same. Go ahead.
but,
See, people don't believe that though when they see you.
yeah,
That
man.
you will have to show. You want me to show you receipts? So you
Yes.
can't take my word for it. I'm telling you, it came from the mud,
It
dog.
came from the mud, literally,
Yeah.
and things are getting better now. The savings account is growing. You know what I'm saying?
Credit is
The
better.
credit is getting better. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
sir.
I got the business banking account looking decent to where,
It's paying you. Is your business paying you now?
man. So, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm in
Come
the
on.
process. I'm in the process
That's
of
fine.
transitioning into that this year. Now,
It took us 5 years
okay, okay,
to
so I'm
literally
right where I need to
start
be.
the company to start paying you something.
Yes. So that's what I'm hoping to see take place this year
Good stuff.
is the business starting to pay me. Now I'm not knowing if I should transition into the S corp in
Mhm.
order to start paying myself, or can I still stay with the LLC and
Mhm.
pay myself? I still haven't figured out how I'm going to work all of that out just yet. But trust me, over time, man, God is going to position the right person in my life to help me with all of the detailed intricacies that need to,
That's another call.
amen, amen,
Yes,
to
sir.
in order for me to put all of those fairs in order
Mhm.
and working on my website. My
Mhm.
website, I designed my own website. I didn't have, when I started out, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money, man. I had to learn. Listen, I was hesitant on starting my website
Mhm.
because I'm like, man, I don't have the best website, or man, I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that. Man, I just started. I went and got me a domain and
Yeah.
I just started just plugging and playing and learning stuff, and it's not the best right now, but I'm getting to the point. I got an online presence,
It's the
you know.
best. It's the best. It's the best for you.
Right, right, right. Exactly.
You wash on pro. You
Yeah,
a pro
appreciate you.
because you a pro, bro.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Everybody's a
Appreciate you.
pro at wherever they're a pro at. You master
Appreciate
that
it.
and you become a better pro. Come on, man.
Exactly.
Let's
Man,
go.
thank you, man. Appreciate them
Yeah.
affirmations, man. So, man, that's one of the main things that I'm focusing on 2025, man, is to scale my business,
Mhm.
scale my marketing, obtain larger contracts, and bring on, man, I'm really passionate about bringing on the second chance, man. I want to become a second chance employment agency. I'm trying to work
Nice.
out something with TWC
Mhm.
to where I become a vendor for them, to where they're going to start bringing me, um, I guess you could say, people that possess the skills that I'm looking for. And
Mhm.
then I'm going to interview them. And if, things work out, I'm going to bring them on and let them help me out on some of these city contracts that God has blessed me with, man. But for the most part, man, like I said, I appreciate you having me on here, man. You like a
No
mentor to
problem.
me. And man, hey, look,
Thanks for coming,
I
brother.
look forward to sharing some more of my success stories with you
Mhm.
in the years to come, in the months to come,
Indeed.
man, because we got to revisit again real soon.
Indeed, brother. I appreciate you coming on. This was epic for me. It's the start of something new. We want to build on the space so that it can help others be the best that they can be, bro. Straight up and
Appreciate it.
down. I appreciate you coming on, Rob. Thank you.
I
So
appreciate you too.
shout out your IG page real quick.
Man, you can follow me on Instagram,
Mhm.
Robb_genius. You can follow me on Instagram at Exhilarate Pressure. You can also follow me on Instagram at Pen to Pro. Pen to Pro, I'm an author of a book. It's going to tell about how I was brought up. It's going to tell about what led to my downfall. It's going to speak a little bit about what happened while I was incarcerated. And then it's also going to tell you how I was able to obtain success after my incarceration. And then I also have some tips, tricks, and strategies that someone coming out of that particular situation, you don't even have to be coming out of that particular situation. You could just be wanting to become an aspiring entrepreneur. I share some strategies on how you can be able to get your business started with little or no money. So check it out, Pen to Pro. It's available on Amazon. Uh, Go to Amazon Books, or go to Amazon, type in books, and then type in Pen to Pro. It'll pull it up. Robert E. Green Jr., man. Check me out, man.
Indeed, man. Thanks for that, man. Y'all check him out. This dude's full of information, man. I'm sorry, information, a wealth of knowledge, man. And we
Appreciate you, man.
appreciate you. Hey, man, y'all like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, and you can vibe with us, come conversate with us, tap in with us at a Power Washing Life on YouTube and IG, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget that notification bell. We building the plane while we're flying it, baby.
Let's
Y'all
fly.
wash on. Stay up. Stay up, Rob. We got to get back at it, man. Peace, bro.
Yes, sir.
Gone. Woo! That's a wrap. Boom.